Even if you don't have a research assignment, you may be interested in some of the ways the library can help you share information with your students. You're no doubt aware that you can put a book or other item on reserve in the library for your students to use. We also have an e-reserves program. Let's say there's a chapter of a book that you want your students to read, or some documents that you only have in print and you want to be able to share them with your students. The library can scan those items and make them available online. We'll take a look at some items that Professor Dixie Thomas has on e-reserves. I'm going to search for ECE 314. Select ARC, and there's Professor Thomas. And what we've got here is that Professor Thomas had several items that she only had in print she wanted to share with her students. I'll go ahead and click on the title of one of the articles. Students are going to be prompted to log in to use the e-reserves. That way only current students are able to view them. And once the student has logged in, they'll be able to read the item that we've scanned right on their computer. You'll find all the information that you need about reserves and e-reserves on the Faculty Services webpage. You'll recall that in Part 1 we took a quick look at the databases. If you found some great articles in the databases and you wanted to have your students read those, almost all of the databases create persistent links that make it easy for you to direct your students to the article. Let's say I'd found this article in the databases. I was doing some research on what to do at my in-laws' Christmas party, and I want to share this with my students now. You'll see over on the right-hand side there is a permalink. When you click that permalink, it'll generate a URL that you can use to direct your students to this article. So you would just copy this and paste this into your D2L site or other course site. Then when students click that link, if they're not on campus, they are going to be prompted to log in to access the database, but then they'll be taken directly to this article. If you do have a research assignment, there are a lot of different things we can do to make sure your students have all the tools they need to be successful. Many instructors that have classes that meet on campus bring their students into the library for a research instruction session taught by a librarian. Now, if your class is online, we can create a completely online orientation for your class. We'll take a quick look at an online orientation used by several psychology classes. I'm going to go to LibGuides. And LibGuides is just a tool that we use in the library to create online guides for specific courses or research assignments. I'm going to browse all guides and click on P for psychology, and then click on Psychology Online Library Orientation. On this page I have links to quick video tutorials that I've created that show students how to conduct their research. I even have some exercises that the professor can assign to the students if the instructor wants some indication that the students have actually completed the online orientation. Note at the top that I encourage instructors to use as much or as little of this as they like. You know, maybe it's not appropriate for your class or for your assignments to have a complete orientation. Maybe you just need one 5-minute tutorial on some specific research task. We do have some general, this is how you find articles tutorials, but we also create tutorials for specific assignments, like this is how you research a congressperson. I personally am a big fan of directing students to online tutorials because that way the students can access that information at their point of need, and students can pause or replay the videos as desired. That was a quick overview of some of the possibilities. To discuss what we can do for you or your class, please contact your librarian. Again, you can find your librarian by going to the Faculty Services page from the library's website and clicking on Find Your Librarian.